the Glasgow Rangers.
Yep.
Yesterday when we were testing, I was testing with his team who was running the prototype, and maybe we found a few things on the car that is helping.
Yeah, good little three-way struggle going on there then for 6th, 7th, 8th places.
Flamengo is keeping it together because he's not very fast, but he manages to stay where he is, and he's defending well. And AS Roma does their job. Frank does a good job by keeping on putting pressure on him and pushing, but he's not finding the way to overtake.
I mean, Frank's been an emerging driver out of France for a number of years. He was backed by Toyota for a while, raced in the Euro F3 series, and I know you've talked quite a lot to him about racing here.
Yes, well, I told him as much as I could, as I've tried to help all the drivers to get familiar with the car, but I haven't had to tell him much because the first day he came over, he did probably 40 minutes of testing, and he was on pole position for his first attempt without knowing the format, the qualifying format, which was exceptional.
So he's a man we're going to watch. Remember, positions will be reversed for the second race, and that could be very good for the likes of teams like Tottenham Hotspur. Duncan Tappy at the moment running down in 13th place, but Beijing still putting in those quick laps and just well, pulling out another 1/10 of a second every lap or so. Beijing just increases that lead. It's now just about 2.5 seconds. Now Tassarai doing a good job in 3rd place. In 4th place, Liverpool FC, the initial leader, but there is the Beijing car.
And we're on board with AC Milan and Robert Dornbos, who's probably pushing hard to keep up with Beijing. Let's have a look and listen at the V12 engine.
Yeah, see how he keeps his hands on the wheel, doesn't go down to a gear stick because there isn't one. He's just got a paddle shift behind us, so you might just see just saw his fingers flick there, Bruce. Talk a bit about this gear change. I mean, it's very slick and very, very fast.
Yes, indeed, it's actually the quickest system I've ever used. It's working very well, and it's very pleasant to drive.
And you don't use a clutch, you don't come off the throttle, it's just a flat shift. You just flick the thing and it just goes through the gears, and automatically it drops the engine revs very briefly and brings them up again.
Yeah, you can't even, that's Tocacello, Tortman, it's over for him. Oh, not very lucky. Last weekend he had a technical problem and he gave up as he was leading the race. He should have won the race, and again, it's over for him, and it's over for Atletico Madrid.
Yeah, so a few cars dropping out now. We've got Sevilla already out, of course, Madrid out now, and Borussia Dortmund out.
Talking about the gearbox, which is actually working very well and actually being very fast. I think Atletico Madrid had problems with the gearbox, and they haven't been able to fix it.
Huge amount of technology, of course, in those gearboxes. 6 forward gears, 1 reverse. So Beijing just again eked out a bit more of a lead, down to 2.7, and the Milan car well ahead of Galatasaray, and then Liverpool FC, Flamengo, and well, the Roma fans have got something to cheer here because that car running in 6th position at the moment here, position after 19 laps with well, just about 15 minutes remaining, plus of course the lap. So in the
and we've got Galatasaray and Liverpool. Galatasaray, who's still in 3rd position, which is very good. He finished 3rd in the last race, and a little bit of a disappointment for Liverpool because they were leading the race. They were looking pretty strong, and they're now still pretty quick, lapping in 1:24.6, but they're down because of a bad pit stop. That's not so good when you start from pole position and that you end up in 4th position.
Yeah, he's pretty well on the pace now. His last lap 24.6 of a second, and the leader's doing 24.5. Indeed, the gap now almost out to 3 seconds, and Davide Rigon doing a superb job. The pit lane window is now closed. Well, we don't really need to know anything. So
everyone did stop, and that's interesting. That's Beijing about to lap the last car, which is Alain, and the first race for Dominic Wilmots, who's probably suffering big time in the car, because those cars are heavy to drive, and when you're not used to them, you will suffer physically.
The Alain car's colours are very similar to those of Anderlecht, and there's a reason for that. The Alain team went to a training camp back in the 1970s with the Anderlecht team, like the colours of the Dutch club so much, the Belgian club I should say, so much that they adopted their colours. So that's why we've got two purple cars in this race. Rangers still in 7th place.
And Liverpool is closing the gap a little bit on Galatasaray, so maybe we'll have a fight between the two cars as Beijing is about to overtake Alain being lapped. Yeah, Alain making opening the door, and he should let him pass, and he's a little bit in the way. He puts himself in the inside line. That's not very nice. Let's hope he gets a blue flag sometime.
Oh,
yeah, that's
fast, yes. Yeah. So the clock still ticks away here. 13 minutes and a lap remaining as Beijing continue to lead, continue to pull away from the rest of the field. And now, of course, the Alain car will have a number of other machines come by it. And it'll be interesting to see what happens there. But this race seems pretty set. Still a little bit of a battle between Galatasaray and Liverpool FC. And Liverpool FC closing in on the Galatasaray car a little bit. Meanwhile, this is the Flamengo, Roma and Rangers battle. That's for 5th, 6th and 7th places.
Still Tuka Rocha, not making any mistake, even having a lot of pressure behind him. So that's pretty good. And we have Collins and Craig Dolby, who was struggling a little bit with his car and finding the good balance, but he still did a very good start as usual. And he's there behind Antonio Pizzonia. He's coming out of Formula Renault, and Antonio Pizzonia is coming back from Formula 1. And they're battling together, so that's pretty good.
Unbelievable. Just talking of Tuka Rocha, but the Flamengo driver, he did have an excellent result at Donington Park. He was on the podium there with 2nd, but since then he hasn't finished better than 9th. So he's having a reasonably good race here, is Rocha.
Yes, he had a very good qualifying actually. He looked pretty strong in qualifying. He was pushing really, really hard, and he did better than usual. Probably likes the track. Yeah,
Flamengo, Roma and Glasgow Rangers all in a group, of course, and now the gap has gone longer to 3.1 seconds. So certainly a string of very, very good consistent laps from Beijing and Davide Rigon.
There is only 5 tenths between Flamengo and Roma. I think that Frank is gonna give it a go somewhere. He's probably studying his opponent. The Flamengo car's weak points or weak corners, and he's going to try to make a move. And he's struggling. He's taking the throttle a little bit early. The Flamengo cars, we could see him running wide outside of the hairpin, and the Roma car is virtually in his gearbox. He's probably less than a tenth behind him. Just there, you can see them on the screen, and then you've got Rangers waiting just behind to see if there is an opportunity when Roma is going to make a move to pass himself as well.
We talked about the gearboxes, we talked about the engines, we talked about the chassis. We haven't talked about the brakes on these cars. They are phenomenal. They're carbon fibre brakes, Bruce. And well, when you hit that brake pedal, your neck goes forward, your head goes forward. You're pulling absolutely massive G.
Yes, the reason for that is that those wheels are the same as in Champ cars. They're 15-inch wheel and not 13 like in Formula 1, which means that the brake discs are much, much bigger, and not like in Champ car, they're in carbon fiber, same as Formula 1. So we've got bigger brakes than in Formula 1, and it pulls more than 4.5 Gs in line.
4.5, absolutely massive, isn't it?
It's massive.
These are probably the best braking race cars in the world, I would say.
And look at that. There is a move there, but it's just Liverpool overtaking Alain. It's just Alain being lapped by the 4 leaders.
So, just to recap, Beijing in the lead now by 3.3 seconds, Milan 2nd, Galatasaray in 3rd place. Then Liverpool still might close up on Galatasaray, then Flamengo, and behind Flamengo, 6th and 7th, Roma and Glasgow Rangers in 8th place, Corinthians 9th to Anderlecht, 10th at Eindhoven, then it's Porto, the Spurs, Tottenham Hotspur, Basel, Olympiacos, and now LA.